Early morning. That's not a bad start to the day, is it? Whoa! Oh mate. Not huge, so I'm going to put him in the lake. Not bad. Looks like I've been mugged on this one. There's still a few snakehead splashing around, so I'll rebait the hooks. Live fish today. The fish that have come in here have come from the rice farm next door. What's happened, the water from higher up on the land has been coming down this road here. It's created a bit of a stream and it's going into the rice farm about 30 yards down there on the right. And basically the snakehead follow the flow of the water here. Oh, I just heard a splash. I don't know if that's in the fence pond or that's on one of the other hooks. Better go and check. Might have come down there start of last night to put the hooks in. There's a fish right in here. It doesn't have make you jump sometimes. These fish love to hunt in the shallow weedy water. Right, I've got 3 more hooks to check and get back and put the coffee on. It's bent over double. So that's either a fish that's got wrapped around the weeds, or it's shed the hook and left me snagged, or it's a snake. Let's go and have a look. Not for the faint-hearted hunting in this weather. You wellies are a bit of a must-have. Right then. Let's see. Don't jump out, you. Oh, it was a fish, because it's left me snagged. It's actually broken the cord. It's frayed it, so it looks like it was a snakehead. They got loads of little sharp teeth, and if they thrash around on here for quite a while, then it gradually cuts through, works its way through it's sort of like a braid. It just frays it, and then one good pull and it's off. It's unfortunate there's a snakehead in here with a hook in, but we'll get it. And the scary last one. That's been pulled as well. Bugger. I know using live bait isn't everyone's cup of tea, guys, but it's the by far the best way to catch these fish. And once they're dead, that's it. You might get a climbing perch or something, but you won't get the snakehead. We'll leave them in there. The good thing about this jungle bit, it's got the shade all day, so you've got a chance of catching something all day. Right, let's get out of here, because seen too many pythons over the last couple of years to feel too comfortable around here. We'll go and pop this fella in the lake. He is big enough to eat, but because it's just one, we might not get another one, so Yeah, I think I'll pop them in the lake. Should grow about 5 times the size of that. Just a light drizzle this morning. It's not quite 6 o'clock. Oi, 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 oi. Come on. Oh, you nearly got out yourself. There you go, mate. Grow big and strong and tasty. Right, and for you guys, you're going to go and see some giant snakehead. Right, back to the house. That's enough frolicking around. And put the kettle on. It's just started to drizzle yet again. So hopefully we might catch a couple more fish if it stays overcast like this. It's still early, but normally once the sun comes up you don't really get these snakehead, but because it's quite overgrown in that bit, I've still got a chance. I put the fish on the hooks during the day yesterday and they all got stripped, and then last night when we came out just to check on the goats, Toon bought a frog catching device and got a few frogs, so we put them on the hooks last night because they're far better bait. They stay alive longer than the little fish. And yeah, they all got bitten off apart from that one that hooked. I prefer to catch them on the fish because there's just so many of those fish, and we just take them out of the crayfish pond. The more we can get out of there the better. I'm convinced that they have a go at the very young crayfish in there. So yeah, if we could figure out a good way of hooking the snakehead on them, that would be good. I've tried hooking them in the bottom lip and never hooked a snakehead. I've hooked them in the middle of the back, and again just got mugged every time. So I don't know, maybe pop one in the tail. I've got someone to show you on camera that hasn't made an appearance on our channel for quite some time. It's old Gertrude. She's let her out for a bit of a wander. Alright, girl. Oh, you're not very white now, are you? Hey? Come and have a look at the lake. Alright, girl. Stay to you now. Hey? You pick the dirtiest bit to go in. Where you going? She'll love it in there. Lots of roots to rootle around in. I know they say you should never keep just one goose, but if you don't know from previous videos, we did have several geese over the course of a couple of years, but they're all inside us or inside a reticulated python these days. So she's our last one, and she's safe near the house. Yeah, it's nice to let her out now and again. We should do it a little bit more often, but today I thought, oh, grass is nice and wet, and there's a few areas that are now holding water that don't usually hold water, so there's plenty of like sodden roots for her to have a good rummage around in. So I thought we'd let her out, have a bit of a day out. Now that the water levels increased on the walking catfish pond, I've started dragging the hyacinth out again. Made a start the other day. At the moment I've done two coconut trees and one tamarind tree. That leaves another couple of tamarins and another couple of coconuts to do. Yeah, it just grows so quickly. Great stuff. As some of you know, we grow it in the drainage ditch as well, and we drag that out and put it onto the palms. The other thing I've got earmarked for the hyacinth is sort of like flotation beds. What I mean by that is using the blue pipe work and maybe some bamboo, and just set up sort of like little holding areas on the lake. So we've got some surface vegetation. They're very shallow rooted, so they just float and fish can hide underneath there. A lot of the baby fish will hide in the root systems, and then some of the catfish species and the snakeheads, they'll enjoy hunting them underneath. So yeah, I think it'll be good to get a bit of greenery on the lake, but the lake, it's still coming up and up. I suppose that's what happens when it keeps raining. We had some heavy rain last night. It didn't rain for very long, but it's just topping up. The place is saturated now, so any sort of additional rainfall that we get now, it's just increasing the levels. This little catchment area now, it is just absolutely thick with what we call bagasil, the small silverfish. There's a lot of little baggyang as well, the meow catfish. And yeah, it looks like they've spawned already. It's just fizzing all over the place. So as the water level drops and the fish become more concentrated, then we'll start lift netting these, and yeah, it's more free food for the alligator gars and the giant snakehead in the tanks we got. It's nice that we don't actually have to use any of our tilapia or Java barb that we've got, or any other fish on the farm. We could also use the lift net in the lake, but there's just no need at the moment. There's just so many wild fish. But even then, when we catch the wild fish, we don't like to give all of them to our predatory fish in the tank. So the prized finds that we get, we still pop in the lake. It's not very often now that we get any species that we haven't had before. I think we've just about got everything. There's a couple of like long-nosed spiky eels and all those sorts of things that we haven't got many in the lake. So if we get hold of those, they'll go in. We put some big eels in there that we've caught on standing hooks. So yeah, it's got a nice mixture that we've built up. Still waiting for our baby black shark minnows. I think that should be this Saturday, hopefully. He did say at the end of the month, but we don't nag the bloke. It's a very, very kind bloke that sells us the baby fish. Whenever he gets hold of something that he hasn't grown himself, he gives Toon a bell and says, I've managed to get hold of so and so, do you want some? Or sometimes he just drops past, certainly on a Saturday afternoon when the market's finished, any fish that he's got left over. Sometimes he just pops over and says, do you want these at a discount rate? So sometimes we say yes. Well, we always say yes. Not for all species, like walking catfish and things like that. We've got bloody thousands, but yeah, quite often he'll give us a bag or two for free. The maykongs are growing insanely fast in here. There's only 10 in here. They get fed at least twice a day. Yeah, we've got quite a few Siamese. They're growing well, but nowhere near as fast as the maykongs, and not as fast as the big head carp, the Chinese big head carp that we got in here. They're a good 5 or 6 inches in length now, and they were, well, not even as big as my little finger when we put them in. We've been using Toon's newly set up yuck yaw for in the crayfish pond. I might do a short video on that because there's loads of better fish. Some people call them Siamese fighting fish. They're just the common wild ones that you see all over the place here in Thailand. There's trillions in here. I think it might be the reason that we're not catching many baby crayfish. So yeah, I'm taking about 50 out a day here just with the lift net. Don't need any bait, but I don't know if the camera's picking it up. There's all little rings as they're hitting the surface. I'm not sure if they're getting little midges or whatever, zooplankton or whatever, but they're very, very small mouths, but they could still bite freshly hatched crayfish. So yeah, I get so many out of here, and yeah, they all get earmarked for the gar and the snakehead. I'll do a video on both of those as a catch-up soon. But basically the snakehead like everything alive, and the alligator gar do seem to be a little bit lazy, as in they like the fish half asleep or dead. So what I normally do with these better fish is just just flick them on the side of their head just to KO them, flick them in, and then the girl will take them. But they're as fat as a pig now. You can see I'm falling behind badly. Even my OCD raised bed area isn't suffering from OCD these days. Just, oh, whatever. I've got chilies coming out of our ears though. But yeah, the old path needs a bit of a clear. Spring onions are doing well. Been hacking this to death, the old morning glory. A few red chilies need picking there. Spider flower, flowering, needs chopping down again. No need to buy chilies anymore. Lovely stuff. We get through a few. Well, mirror to a tide misses, it's hardly surprising, is it? My garlic chives are going crazy. Really thickening up now. The leaves are getting broader. Super duper. Gang's still useless, as is Spoon. Waiting for your brekkie. Hey? Right then, now for the difficult bit. Waking the missus up.